little smiley face on my blinds, on my bald spot up there, so y'all can have something cool to look at. Okay, now we got another one. So this one's already been moved up once. That's where it's going to get planted to. That's how deep it's going to go. But guess what? I done told you. That is 2 foot. 1 foot in the ground. 1 foot in the ground. Splash zone. All that disease lives all over the place. Here comes the rain, splashes drops fly up onto the plant. The bottom leaf starts turning brown, disease and stuff. You don't get it off of there, guess what? You're carrying it to the next plant. The wind's going to carry it to the next plant. Leaves rubbing on each other, carry it, move it around. It's got to go. So, all this. That one right there is bent down. It's going to be in the ground. Even that one right there. I can leave it now. I can leave it. But it's going to come off of there. So why would I? I've got energy. Energy's going up. Here's a sucker. And only suckers cut suckers. People that don't know how to feed a plant or have never been explained that a sucker is actually a secondary lead. If you learn how to feed a plant, you can feed the whole plant. I've got other videos. I'm going to make other videos about suckers. So I want energy. I want energy up. This is going to go. It's going to go. This is where the ground is. It's not a possibility. It's a probability. It's going to be diseased. It's energy. Get rid of it. That one over there, for right now, it's 8 inches above. I'm going to leave it. It's all fine. That one right there is going to get planted. These little suckers down here, if they grow stems fast enough, then that's just fine with me. They'll come right out at the dirt level. And I'll trim the leaves off of those as it comes up. Can you cheat? Yeah, you can cheat. You want to buy short plants, starts, do it. I recommend it. And when you plant them into a hole. Plant them into a hole. If you could get that thing planted up to there right now, but the level is up here, then it doesn't matter if some mud gets splashed on them or whatever. They're going to come off of there anyways. Go ahead and plant it. 6 inches is better than 4. 8 inches better than 6. You're gonna learn to plant them right, or you're gonna learn to water them. You're gonna be a slave. There's other systems that I'm going to do a bunch of this year, where automatic waters and things like that. You can cheat a little bit more on those, but the truth is if you plant it deep, then the root is already there, and so it just has to put out some new roots off the sides. It doesn't take much energy to do that. If you plant it shallow, and it has to grow every root that it has all the way down. I mean, that's, would you rather plant that and make it grow all the roots down, or go ahead and drop it in the bottom of a pot like that one and let it grow roots all the way to there? Then if I was to plant that one, I could plant that one right now. I would still leave it in a shallow hole. And the first time I weeded, I just pushed some dirt up on it. But these plants are not ready to go. They're not. It's a start. It's just a start. It's a head start. It's not ready to just be taken home, thrown in the dirt, and think that it's going to grow into a nice plant for very long. Here in the spring, it's going to grow fine. It's going to grow fantastic. It doesn't require much. The summer sun hasn't been beaten on it. for a week, you know, it's going to do fine. But if you think about the end in the beginning, then you're much better off. The end is coming, so you either plan for it or you fight it when it gets here. It's tomatoes is pretty much that simple. Learn the rules, understand the rules, follow the rules, and it's going to be a pleasure. If you don't, it's going to be a second job. Now, a lot of people's going to say, "Well, I don't mind watering." That's great, but the time that you spend on watering, wouldn't you like to have 10 more minutes to do some pruning, to just walk around, look on the bottoms of the leaves for pests, and look at the colors of the leaves, actually studying your plants. Um, Plants ain't going to have the same need. Everybody, you can't just plant them in the garden and walk around and throw some fertilizer on them. It's kind of like a kindergarten class. You got a big monster, a mammoth like this grows huge tomatoes, and then you got a cherry tomato somewhere, or Roma. It's they don't have the same needs at the same time. You got to watch the leaves. The leaves is going to tell you what they need, just like a kindergarten class. This one needs some. This one right here needs some magnesium. This one over here needs some nitrogen. This one over here, it needs killed. You don't never know. They're all different. The 10 minutes a day that you're going to spend watering, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day you're going to spend watering, you're not taking away from your time in the garden. You're adding to your time in the garden. You're making it good quality time instead of. So the yields will jump. A lot of people get 10, 15 pounds off of a tomato plant. And if you plant it deep and it gets water and it gets food, you're looking at 40, 60, 80 pounds. The record on a tomato is 346 pounds. That was a Better Boy tomato, and it was grown in a container actually. But it's about learning how to feed them, when to feed them. Water. The deeper you plant it, the more consistent the water's going to be. Consistency is the secret. As soon as that button switched and the skins start getting hard, it's done. It's done right there. Everything. If they're not absorbing water, then they're not absorbing the phosphates. They're not absorbing everything they need for their immune systems. They can't fight disease. They can't fight bugs. They can't fight drought. If you feed them well and you keep the nitrogen low, and then feather that nitrogen in as it needs it. Nitrogen's a yield killer. So if you feather that nitrogen in there, then they're gonna produce. You're gonna have a good, steady, constant yield, good reproduction. It's a no-brainer. But the thought that these are bought and ready to go, it's not that. It's just people haven't thought about it. They listen to each other. They haven't been taught. Nobody's ever told them that taking that home and planting it is ridiculous. That's you're setting yourself up for failure right from the start. You right from the start you're setting yourself up for failure. So I've got a few videos. I'm making more. I plan on making a video every other day or so about different things. Tomatoes, worms, vermicomposting, worm beds, different grow systems. I'm going to go all out this year. You got a question, send it to me. I'll make a video about your question. I will, if you ask me to, we'll just have some fun and do a little bit of stuttering, and that's the way it'll be. So I think this pretty much covers this and a little bit more. Maybe I've piqued your interest enough that you'll just be curious and want to learn more. But 4 inches of dirt, planting them on their side. You see it. This is about the time of year you're going to see that on Facebook all the time. And for somebody that does tomatoes and understands how it works, It's hilarious. It's ridiculous. Um, but all rumors will persist. All I'm trying to do is uh, promote thought, and I'll leave you with that.